I started guiding in 2010. In December, I opened the business. Last winter, I did 5 groups, and then in the summer of 2011, we did 71. We had set 20 as a target, and the business really exploded. With those 71 groups, we caught a little bit over 2,000 fish. Catfish, walleye, pike, panfish, crappie. We did catch quite a bit of catfish because we had a lot of people from the city who had never fished before, or young families, and there was nothing better for them than anchoring on a big school of catfish. On average, when we were catfishing, we'd pull out a fish every 2 to 3 minutes. But if I were to consider myself an expert of anything, it's walleye fishing. Being a northern boy, is just what we do. And now this winter so far, I've done 4 groups. We are January 29th today, and I've got quite a few bookings lined up for February. And what I like to say is I don't sell fish, I sell an experience, but nonetheless, I always guarantee my clients will catch fish. So here we have the fishing quarters. It's a 6x12 6-man pop-up shelter. I can put 4 holes in here with the 2 heaters. It's quite comfortable. We're barehanded. I had some Australians in here last week that fished barehanded all day when it was -25 outside. Today we have quite a gusty wind out there. It's probably close to -20 with the wind chill. And in here it's certainly above 0 because our holes aren't freezing. The next tent over, same style tent, 12x6. And that's our kitchen, which we'll show you a little later on. One thing I do here on the Ottawa River that's a little different, actually 2 things, is, well, not so differently, I'll put a stinger hook on a jig head, but what I'll do is I'll actually put a small minnow on this hook and a small minnow here, and very often the fish will bite the small hook on the bottom. Also, one thing that I do that's a little bit frowned upon, but when you're fishing high current areas, like we are today on the Ottawa River, I'll actually grab a split shot. Or 2 or 3. Just a regular split shot like this, and I'll put it on just a few inches above the jig head. Now generally you wouldn't do this because it hinders the action of the jig or whatnot, but on the Ottawa River it's something I've had a lot of success doing when I'm fishing high current areas, and you can do this with a buckshot, with a Swedish pimple, just about any lure you can think of to get it down to the bottom and not have the current sweep it away from you. The good old Ottawa River Special Pickerel Rig. It's a great way to catch a lot of small fish when you're on a large concentration of small fish like we are today. We're catching a lot of 10 to 16 inch sauger and walleye. A pickerel rig is the way to go. So all it is, you can buy these at really any store that sells any fishing equipment. Have a little piece of lead, spreader, snell hook, another spreader, another snell hook, and at the bottom here there's quite a bit of current. We have 2.5 ounces of weights. If you're fishing in an area with a little current, you can put a jig head on there, have 3 minnows, and you're covering 1.5 foot of depth. There's one. Another one on the drop shot. There we go, another nice sauger. For those of you who know a little bit about Ottawa River fishing, you know that there's a ton of sauger in here. Average size, I would say, is probably around 8 inches. So when you get them like this, where they're 12 inches and up, this is actually a pretty nice sauger for here. If you go further downstream past Carillon Dam towards Montreal, you'll get them up to 3-4 pounds, but around here, anything over, say, 18 inches is really a big sauger. Anything over, say, 10 inches is something you would want to keep. If we were keeping more, this would be a great eater. This one's going to go back so I can catch him with clients another day, maybe you. There he goes. At Ottawa River Guided Fishing, we do probably about 80-90% catch and release. Like I said, we caught about 2,000 fish in 2011, and obviously most of those were released. If clients do want to keep fish, absolutely, we fillet it for them, send them home with a little Ziploc full of fish. But if they want to take pictures and release them, that's great for us, because an extra fish in the river is worth a lot more to us than a fillet in the freezer. Let's get a new minnow on this one, throw her back down, see if we can get maybe a big walleye next. Little guy, the little guy, there he is. Another solid Ottawa River sauger. We're actually catching fish that are a little bit above average today. There's a nice 13-14 inch good eater size sauger. And as I was saying, drop shot rig. I don't remember ever catching a fish that wasn't at least that size on a drop shot. It just catches decent fish, and you upsize the bait, it catches big fish. There he is. Because there's so much current, we gotta bring him in sideways a little bit. And there he is, another nice sauger. Our Ottawa River guided fishing, one of the things we're real proud of is being able to offer our clientele shore lunches, either in the summer or in the winter. So as you see, we have 2 tents. This is our fishing quarters. This is our kitchen. Come on in, I'll show you the kitchen. So here we have our 2 heaters keeping things nice and warm so that our stove doesn't freeze. We have, soon we'll have some fillets here. I got the fish crisp and some hot chocolate. It's about 10-12 degrees in here. I don't know if you can hear that oil sizzling, but I tell you, if delicious had a sound, that would be it. As I said earlier, I don't necessarily sell fish, I sell an experience. And the shore lunch is certainly part of that experience. And this is my whole shore lunch kit. I take this with me whenever I have a shore lunch. So it has, you know, I have my hot chocolate, my thermoses, my oil, a bag of chips, chocolate bars. Like I said, my clients are kings. I bring this with me all the time, regardless of whether we have a shore lunch or not. I have chips, chocolate bars, hot chocolate, coffee. In the summer I have bottled water, I have soft drinks. Ice fishing in style. And if we were in the summer, we would have gone back to the park in Rockland, right where the boat launch is. Just set up in the shade on a nice picnic table and would have had the same kind of meal. The finished product of our labor here, delicious Ottawa River guided fishing shore lunch. Let's try this walleye here. Oh, we can't beat fresh walleye. Oh, that's good. Now, if there's any of you out there who would be interested in booking me for a day, it's quite easy. You can either go to my website, ottawa-river-fishing.ca. Don't get confused. The business is called Ottawa River Guided Fishing. The website is ottawa-river-fishing.ca. You can find me on Facebook under Ottawa River Guided Fishing, or you can give me a call, 613-419-0565. It's always a pleasure for me to take people out fishing on the mighty Ottawa River. It's a fantastic fishery. We always catch a lot of fish. We always have a lot of fun. And what's nice about the ice fishing is if the bite does get a little slow, we have a snow machine out there. We can go for little tours. And you know, we have the heaters. I always bring a lot of food for all my clients. It's really a great experience. Stress-free, hassle-free for the client.